What's up, fanboys and fangirls? Welcome back to another episode of TV Talk. Here to talk about the penultimate episode of Watchmen. Things are getting crazy. My name is Luke. This is Dr. Manhattan Tyler.
That is me.
He's in blue.
I kind of intentionally put on a blue jacket, and I was like, you know what? I'll go with it. Hopefully everybody else wears blue too, because like even HBO changed their logo blue this week.
I'm in my Sister Night black.
Yeah, it's okay.
No, look, I'm in my Sister Night black and white. So
there you go.
Love it. I love it.
I'm no one.
The beautiful Brett Eitz to my right, as always.
Thank you. Yeah.
He is no one.
I'm no one.
Sorry, I'm living in multiple moments, so just trying to keep up with everything that's going on right now. I'm watching Honey Boy at the same time. It's kind of awesome.
Oh my gosh.
It's 1992. I'm currently being born. It's very awkward.
I'm not going to make any comments about that. All right, yes. Watchmen.
Yeah, we should.
Penultimate episode.
God walks into a bar.
A bar.
I
That
love
was a very clever
Very
title.
clever title. Big fan.
It would have been cool if they had released the titles ahead of time and like people would see that one and be like, oh, that's when Dr. Manhattan comes back, and probably not put it together.
Yeah.
Actually, somebody would have, because Reddit is a place where people smoke a lot of pot and figure things out. But here we are.
Reddit is like accidentally smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, somehow. It's just that like it's not 1 in a million, but they take like 3 million shots, so
Yeah.
they're gonna hit.
One's got to hit. Anyway, let's freaking go nuts with this because
This is freaking good TV.
This is great TV.
my mind was blown. This is one of the best episodes, just pure episodes of TV I think I've ever seen. I was just fully entranced, and I think my jaw was just kind of down the entire time. It's like, because Mr. Dr. Manhattan, I was calling him Mr. I'm going to go by his
Mr.
title.
Manhattan.
He was
Aye.
just portrayed so perfectly.
Yep.
And I was just like, oh, man, this shouldn't be possible that this is this good. Like,
Yeah. Hats off to Damon Lindelof in their writer's room on perfectly capturing Dr. Manhattan and everything that he is a part of. I don't know that this could be done any better ever. I think this is as perfect as it's going to ever get with this kind of storytelling. I don't
We
think
peaked. Shut it down.
Yep.
No episode 9.
No. I'm not meaning the show. I'm just meaning like the living in multiple moments.
Sure.
The way it was done in this episode, I think, is probably the peak. Like, I don't, at least for now. Somebody will find a way to do better.
Very well
but,
done.
man.
yeah.
I just, as this episode ended, I was just like, what? And it wasn't like a bad what. It was like a,
How do they do this? What?
how did they just do that? Like, this is genius.
You never think that you could ever be put in Dr. Manhattan's place and experience time the way he does. And we don't truly get that, but we get a really good sense of how it works through the editing and the storytelling in this episode.
Which I loved, like the editing about how it would go like from this little rom-com kind of date thing where Angela's like, we're not gonna go out, come on, like, and then it goes forward into their relationship, but then also past that and before all that, like, and coinciding one story all at the same time. Just brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliantly done. Great writing. And then also, I think Yaya just was so good at being John Osterman. Like,
yeah. Oh, yeah. I thought Yaya was a budding star just in general because he was starting to get casted and everything. I think this will be what sends him over the top, though. I think this is where everybody's going to be like, okay, yep, this guy's legit. Let's put him in everything we can.
Yeah.
So Black Manta killing the game. He's killing it in the DC universe.
Very much so. What did you guys... It's hard to know where to start with this episode.
It all happens at the same
Because it all
time.
happens simultaneously. But should we talk about maybe Angela and kind of what kicked off the whole series with the time loop and how she does kind of start it all, right? Did I cause this?
Yes. Yes.
Turns out you did.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Did.
Like,
it just like that was the twist that just kind of folds the whole thing in on itself. You're just like, oh my gosh, did they just do this?
Yeah.
And like, I think Regina King did a great job of like expressing that. Like, oh no.
And not this like expressing like the oh no, but the like, because we're experiencing this entire episode with John, and throughout the entire thing, they're explaining, I am experiencing this all at once.
Yeah.
Everything is at once. Every single conversation I'm having is at once. So when he says, I'm talking to Will Reeves right now, she's thinking, oh, he's just over there
talking to him right now.
Right.
She's not thinking in the past 10 years, so it's like, I could really get some answers real quick right now. Whoops. Like,
oh dear.
It's like, and it's, but even myself, I'm not thinking like, oh yeah, that was 10 years ago. Like, it's something you forget about really quick.
The beauty of it for me is that it's still like, there's still not like a loophole. It still works into the inevitability of everything. Like, he's seen this whole thing, how it's going to play out. He can't change it.
And that's something I want to touch on too, is that he can't change it.
He's okay with that.
Yeah.
Like, he's come to that acceptance of his existence, which is really interesting.
Yeah, it's weird because like he lives in these moments. That's kind of the best way I can explain it, is he lives like all these moments at once, right? And so like I know that there's some confusion on like how would he just get captured like that? Like, he knows everything that's going to happen to him like all at once. He can't change the big bullet points. Like, he has to let these things take place. Like, if he intervenes in those, then the whole story just changes all the time. And so I don't know if episode 9 could go back to those moments and change them, like, because he's always experiencing them. So it just makes me like, it makes my head feel like it's going to explode trying to think of what they could do.
Well,
yeah, exactly.
Shoot, now I forgot my point. I was thinking about exploding heads.
Good movie.
No, I guess it's more of a question. Do you think Manhattan's gonna make it out, or do you think he's dead?
Do I think this version of Manhattan makes it out?
What do you mean?
Well, the 7th Cavalry's plan is to become him.
Yes. Do you think Yaya's the original Manhattan?
Gotcha.
Do you think he will die? Yeah, John Osterman. Do you think John Osterman will die?
Oh man, I don't know.
I think so. The only way it doesn't happen is if this is a single season, or his like powers somehow get mitigated, where it's like, in an attempt to kill you, we've actually taken that that made you special and given it to someone else somehow. Or I mean, again, if you're gonna continue the story with the season 2, he's almost just too powerful of a character to have around. That said, I'm sure this team could do it. But no, my vote is he's probably dead at the end of next episode.
I think somehow it hasn't really been shown a lot, but I think the power struggle between Veidt and him does exist, and I think somehow Veidt comes out on top of all of it.
Yeah.
I think somehow he can bring, figuratively speaking, I think he'll bring John down to his level.
Yeah.
Where, like, kind of like you said, mitigating his powers, making John equal to Ozymandias,
right,
I think is the end game for Veidt.
Yeah. Speaking of Veidt, we finally kind of understand, for the most part.
Yeah, there's only like one thing I don't get with him right now.
What's going on with him? Like, we know where he is, why he's there, why everybody kind of hates him there now. Kind of how long he's been there too.
Yeah.
But maybe just not what's his end game?
Yeah, that's what we don't know. We don't know what
especially
the horseshoe is.
When we think back, like,
not yet.
How is he? He he's been pulling strings, same as Manhattan, and it has been implied pretty heavily that he was the one who really set up the whole 7th Cavalry thing, or at least this crusade in technology and whatnot. Whether or not how much he influenced the racism and stuff behind it, that's maybe up for debate. But yeah, I think it's interesting. We're coming to a point, I think, next episode where we see these two powerhouses face off, but neither one of them have been the main character. I mean, obviously, Angela's going to be there. Angela's going to be trying to save Manhattan. But yeah, no, his motivations and what his end game is. Someone shed some light.
Yeah. It's definitely going to be an interesting ending.
Yeah. I think the part for me that is a real just big question mark for me is Laurie Blake.
Yeah.
Like,
where does she land in all of this?
Having two iconic characters like that from the originals is like no mistake.
No, right. Absolutely.
And it's been revealed now for Manhattan, his kind of more role of the direction of where we're going with him. So what's her reasoning for being here?
Yeah.
I don't know, but she thought Cal was hot when she met him.
Yep, that's funny.
And Cal thought he knew her.
Yeah.
And couldn't figure out how.
I'm trying to remember in 6 or 7 maybe, is it revealed that the senator got her to come to right? Okay, so like
she's there for a reason.
She is there for a reason. It's not just a
Maybe he thought that would be what brings John back to reality, and maybe he can make her the reason he sacrifices his power and gives it over to them. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just love how many questions I'm always
contemplating
with the show. Yeah, like it's never like with a lot of shows, it's what's the question for this episode? Answered. Cliffhanger. Next episode, that question is answered. Cliffhanger. Next episode, so on.
Right.
But like with this one, it's like, here's about 20 questions in the first episode. We're going to watch 8 episodes. Awesome. They're almost all answered, but here's 50 more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah, they did a really good job of keeping us in the dark for a long time.
Yeah.
And doing it in a way that wasn't frustrating.
Yeah.
Which was really nice. Like, I never, like, throughout the course of this season, I have never felt frustrated with the show. Like, and I can count on one hand how many shows make me feel that way. There's always something that bothers me, but in this show, I really don't have much to complain about.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's always that episode in a show, like The Mandalorian just had theirs, where you go, okay.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't really gotten that feeling. An episode that's not top tier like all the other ones have been, but it's still been like all in my books like A.
You have such a strong cast that even when they go off and do some little like, hey, we're gonna follow Looking Glass for an episode, like despite the fact, like first off, that episode does reveal some cool stuff.
He's gonna walk in and just shoot everybody.
I know.
I forgot about him.
Yeah,
dang it.
he's escaped.
He is a huge player.
Yep.
In this finale. Because he's killed some of the cavalry people and he is not done.
Hold on. We forgot about the most important person. Lube Man.
Lube Man's coming back.
He got away and he's just wandering through the sewers. He's going to walk in there and just go... Now it's going to be slipping and sliding all the place.
Dude.
And look at that real like funny carnival music.
Dude, Lube Man has a part to play. I just can't wait to see what that is.
I'm super excited for this next episode.
What do we think? Another player who wasn't in last week's episode.
Red Scare, that's my guy.
Lady True.
Red Scare. Yeah. And I mean Will too.
Yeah.
Will's kind of been absent.
He was in the episode,
for a bit.
but it was just real quick.
That was such a cool scene, though.
Yeah. Like, what is going to be this Millennium Clock? They've kind of been talking about it all season. Maybe it's going to save John. I don't know.
I don't think Lady True is a good person.
I don't think anybody is.
I don't trust anyone.
Nobody's a good person. But I don't think Lady True is on the side of our heroes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What do we think about... So I want to focus in on a couple moments. The first one being Manhattan and Veidt on Titan. So like...
Europa.
Europa. So Manhattan goes there because he's unsatisfied on Earth, creates life in the form of people he's met in his past, kind of in the vein of the Adam and Eve creation story. Things go well, but he gets bored because of course he does. And then we see a interesting counter reflection of that with Veidt being the master there. One of Manhattan's comments to Veidt was that these people
want someone to serve.
Like, they have all this love to give me, and I just don't want it. Yeah. It's like, I'm not that interested in it. They need someone, and Veidt immediately
he's like, me. Oh yes, please. I want people to bow down and worship me. Yeah.
But we've known from previous episodes that he has disdain, or maybe not even disdain, but maybe just a lack of empathy for them, and they certainly don't like him. I just think there's some interesting stuff going on there that Lindelhoff has to say about maybe God or religion or
Christianity,
free will,
which seems to be a common theme he kind of plays with a lot.
For sure,
with Lost and Leftovers. But yeah, it's super interesting, especially the free will bit. I really enjoyed all that Veidt stuff, and it kind of made me even like all the stuff leading up to it a lot more. Yeah, kind of to see where it ended up.
Yeah, well, now know kind of what was all happening, because like all of his little intermissions were so confusing, and not really knowing where they took place in time makes more sense now.
Yeah.
Veidt had an interesting line about an elephant.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, that elephant does actually matter. Come on.
Is he the elephant?
Huh?
Is he the elephant?
Maybe he's on the other end of that.
He's inside the elephant, just hanging out, playing Xbox.
Pew 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 pew.
I don't know. That elephant.
But yeah, that elephant matters now.
Yeah, it matters.
Every single
and
thing
just
that
like,
we've seen in the show matters.
Right. That's so awesome.
Lube Man
matters. Because that's his only scene. He's got to come back. Maybe he's the main character of season 2.
I've got my theory for the end of the episode. Not about Lube Man.
For the end of the season?
Or no, for the end of our episode.
Okay.
Where we talk about what are our hot takes, predictions.
Okay.
I've got mine.
What was some other points you wanted to mention?
Oh, well, we haven't really talked about there's one action scene. We get to see Angela do a little gunplay. She does pretty well.
Yeah.
It's really well shot. And then Yaya just coming in and be like, And even when then she thinks that they've won, he knows.
He's like, no, we haven't won. Sorry, girl.
That scene, like, people don't understand why he was caught. But, like, I think the example of that is when they're fighting in the apartment, and she's like, do you need me to say it? And he's like, yeah, I do. Like, yeah, you have to say it because this moment has to happen.
Yeah.
And then we get there, and he's like, he very easily could turn around and be like, blow up that machine and be like, yeah, I'm not getting captured. But he has to. It has to happen.
Yeah.
My thing is, what dictates those moments? Like, why do they have to happen? Who dictates that? Because he can dictate anything he really wants to. I mean, we've seen him do it.
It seems interesting to. Is he at the whims of
someone else?
Of time? You know, how does he clearly has a.
There's a timeline.
Seat on the, like, it's not even a seat because, again, like, he experiences everything at once. But I'm just wondering if that has, like, when we talk about free will or predestination, like, is he just chill with it because he understands he can't change it? Free will's an illusion, man.
Nah.
That's not my hot take, but I'm just asking the question.
I don't know.
It raises more questions.
Yeah.
Like you said, there's more
50
questions.
2 answers.
Anything else before we give our hot takes? Other comments?
I did like that we kind of got to see more of Angela in Vietnam and kind of understand the kind of person she was before all of this. I thought that was cool to kind of get a better feel for her character and the emotional side of her.
Yep.
But hot take time? Is that what we're doing here?
I guess. I don't think I have one, except that I think Manhattan's gonna die. That's it. Not really a hot take. It's either or, but
my hot take is that Veidt is Lady True's father.
Oh, okay. Yep.
And she's trying to get him back. He's set all these little things in motion to make it happen. And I mean, I could go on with what I think will happen, but I gotta leave something for Tyler.
I don't have one.
Here's a hot take. So, Veidt is going to crawl out of the elephant, Ace Ventura, When Nature Calls style.
Love it. And Lube Man's going to help him get out.
Lube Man like, hold on, go back in. Okay, come on down.
There's my hot take.
No, I guess my hot take would just be that Veidt, and I said it earlier, Veidt will somehow bring John down to his level.
Yeah.
And kind of become the villain we've kind of always viewed him as.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Veidt definitely...
He hasn't really had he's been a villain on Europa, but he hasn't really been the villain that we kind of expect him to be.
Yeah.
I think, at least for me personally, I expect him to be the big bad at the end of all this.
I don't, because he already was. So I think he's actually going to like help in some...
You think he'll actually try to be the hero this time? Like truly be the hero this time?
Yes, but in a sick and twisted way, he does save the world in Watchmen.
Well, yeah.
It's awful, and he is absolutely a villain. He kills 3 million people. He went at it a very strange way, but also he stopped a thermonuclear war.
So my thinking is that yes, he did that. He never got the love and respect that he thought he deserved. So that's why he took the gig on Europa.
He's like, they'll love me.
He's unsatisfied up there, so he's like, I'd rather be the villain and be in control of my own destiny. So he's coming back.
Yeah, he's
laying down the squids.
I can see him coming back.
Riding in on the squid.
Yeehaw! And Paul Bunyan's gonna come in riding Lube Man. No.
The big thing I'm confused about is clearly Seventh Cavalry have some sort of teleport device that they've been working on.
Yeah, they've been hanging out with
But
Veidt.
how have they got it up to Europa?
I don't know.
Manhattan can just be like, we're there. We have to have... I mean, they have flying spacecraft or flying airships in this, so that Tulsa PD just has laying around.
But no cell phones.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird, unique little feature.
I like it.
I do too.
So, kind of back to Veidt real quick. I can see him coming back and playing hero. Like, I'm going to be the hero in this moment.
Sure.
But still, if there's a season 2...
Be the villain.
Yeah.
No, I can see that too.
Do we think there will be a season 2?
I don't know. I'm so back and forth on it. I could see it ending, and I'm totally fine with that. But I could also see this just constantly evolving into something even more crazy.
I think they've done a good job of setting themselves up where they can do either or.
Yeah.
If they do a season 2, I think it will be a different group of people in a different part of the country. They've mentioned Seattle. They've mentioned Seattle.
Yeah.
They've mentioned several other places throughout the season. I think
it might be in one of those places.
I think if they want to wrap this story, they can start this story here.
Okay. All right.
That's how I kind of see it playing
and you
out.
could even you could even then bring back Yaya and Dr. Manhattan just because of who he is and how he experiences time.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez, that's brilliant.
Which is awesome.
Oh, I love it. Yeah. No, my vote's definitely a season 2.
In a different group of people.
Yeah.
With
Maybe
I'm all for a season 2.
My guess is there'll be some like connecting threads. Like, you know, you'll have your kind of
Yo, did you know what happened in Tulsa? That was crazy.
Maybe.
Well, I just think like Lady True, you have so many people with so many different.
And I'm pretty sure Vite would still.
Vite. I think Vite probably back as the big bad.
I honestly think Vite carries over, and I think Lori Blake carries over too, because she can be the investigator who goes to this new place.
And then back, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, Lindelof or somebody was asked about Night Owl showing up this season. He said, no, not this season.
Oh, that's confirmation, baby.
So you could have Lori Blake.
You run with that clickbaited title.
Don't remember his name. Night Owl reunion.
Ooh.
Dan.
Yeah, Dan.
Dan
the man.
Dan the owl man.
I also think they won't get into that. Never mind. I was gonna say if they wanted, they could do another Rorschach, but they won't.
No,
they won't get into that.
No,
I doubt it. Yeah, which is fine.
You don't want to.
Looking Glass is that character in this.
Yeah, and then you'll also have the Seventh Cavalry who have the appearance of him. I think if you did that, that'd be too many
originals.
Here's our Rorschach allegory character.
Yeah,
you don't need to do that.
No.
Just think of good fun characters.
Agreed. Yeah. I think we've talked about this probably long enough, unless you have any last thoughts.
More Red Scare.
And Pirate Jane. I like Pirate Jane.
Need more of those 1D characters to come back.
Yeah.
They'll be here for the big final battle.
They're cardboard cutouts.
They'll get their little Avengers assemble moment.
On your left.
On your left.
And then
do a Russian accent.
On your left.
On your left.
I'm on your left. And then Dr. Manhattan's going to be like, I'm on your left, and your right, and behind you, and above you, and in front of you. And also, in 10 seconds, I'm right there, but I'm also there now. But I'm also over there, and there. I'm also in New York. I'm also in Seattle. I'm also on Mars. Somebody's going to be like, shut up.
Please stop talking.
John, I love you. Shut up.
One more episode.
One more.
Really excited.
Yep. Gonna be dope. You can find other things here on our YouTube channel that we do. We have a weekly podcast / live show Mondays at 8 p.m. It's just called the What the Fanboy Show. And you can find that here on YouTube. You can find that on podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts, pretty much.
iTunes, Spotify.
Google Podcasts, Google Play.
SoundCloud. We don't
on the website too.
We don't shout out SoundCloud all that much anymore, but we still love you, OG SoundCloud.
We don't love SoundCloud.
Okay,
we love you, listeners.
We love anyone who listens on it.
Yes, but
I think it's mostly
SoundCloud, the company and format. We don't really love. So,
but yeah, you can find all of the links and stuff at whatthefanboy.com.
Yeah. Until next week.
We'll see you guys.
Yep. See you guys.
Is that what you said?
Blink once for yes. Blink 3 times for no. It's like 10 blinks. So it's either 10 yeses or
10 no's.
Like 2.5, 3.5 no's. I can barely hear it.
That's such a weird concept that people enjoy listening to that.
Too much? Your face. I'm so sorry.
All I hear is...
Is that what he does?
Oh, no. Why are we shooting me?
Oh,
I didn't shoot you.
Well, Brett shot me.
You were an individual in the room. That's about all.
That's dangerously close to another gesture.
Well, that's why I didn't rate. Well, yeah, that's true.
Because you went...
I'll go down.